Well, hello and welcome back. Thank you for joining us to introduce Gavin Hetherington, who is our Deputy Head Teacher. And we are here to answer any questions that you have about the school. We have a team of people over here ready to hand us questions from the email system. So if you'd like to email any questions into openevening@ebhigh.org.uk, we'll do our best to answer questions as we go through this evening. So we have got a couple of questions that we're going to kick off with. So Gavin, would you like to take it away?
Thanks, Dan. Okay, first question: is there anything that I can do to prepare my daughter for starting high school? I think the general word there is to reassure your daughter or your child that actually starting high school, and particularly East Bergholt, is a really exciting opportunity. It's a fresh start. It's a chance to make new friends, meet new teachers. It's different to primary school because obviously you're travelling around to different subject areas, learning new subjects. So reassure your children that they've got that excitement to come in September. And in the meantime, please visit our webpage, because our webpage has got lots of transition material. Videos are on there, tours of the school. We've released some tonight. There's lots of videos to do with the department areas and the subjects that we teach within the school. So sit with your child and watch those and gather lots of information. And probably the best thing is if you know some of our students, if you've got siblings or friends or other families locally with students who attend our school, they will tell you all you need to know, and they are our best ambassadors because we've got a fantastic bunch of students. So really good resource to tap into. But it's natural to be a little bit nervous, but it's an exciting time.
Okay, thanks, Gavin. Next one's for me. So my daughter has been a prefect at primary school. Do you have any prefects? Well, the simple answer to that is yes, we do have prefects. We have junior prefects who start in year 9 and they help out around the school, quite often help us out at open evenings when we can have people into school. And then we have our senior prefects who are selected in year 10 and then move on to help in year 11. So you may have already seen the welcome from Amelia and Luke on our webpage, our head boy and a head girl, both prefects. We have bus prefects as well who will help out on buses, and transition prefects who help out with our students when they join the school. In addition to that, we also have a very flourishing, if I can get my words out, flourishing student council made up of representatives from each tutor group. And then they feed into a whole school council, which I attend and another assistant head teacher attends. And they really give us some good ideas about the direction of the school and the sort of things that we want to change. So, for example, one of the things they brought to us last year when I was just starting is the state of the toilets. It seems to be a perpetual thing in the school. The toilets needed to be refurbished, and I'm pleased to say that we listened to them. And over the summer, we refurbished 3 of our toilet blocks. So they've now got brand new toilet facilities. So they do have a voice, and we do listen to what our students say. Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, so I understand that your intake is from several different primary schools. Is there support for children who may feel anxious or lonely? Well, that's absolutely true. We, because of our location, we've had years where we've taken students from over 30 primary schools at times. Last year, I think that figure was 29 and has probably grown as students have joined us. We have many of those students that are the only or one of a small group of students from their primary school. And, that is going to be nerve-wracking, but they all settle really, really well and they make friends very quickly. And again, it's that excitement of joining a form group with a much larger pool of students, all with different interests. And what we find is actually you might join with friends from primary school, and that might be reassuring to start with, but a lot of students tend to form different friendships anyway because they're starting to meet new people. We do have systems in place though for students if they do feel a little bit anxious or lonely at the start, and it does happen sometimes. But we have induction prefects who are older students that will spend a couple of weeks supporting the year 7 form groups and taking them to their lessons and talking to the students and helping them. We've got Dan mentioned our SOS peer mentors earlier. Again, older students who are trained to work with younger students to make them feel much more confident in the school. It might be issues to do with homework, it might be making new friends, whatever it is, they support the younger students and make them feel better. And of course, our staff, your child will be part of a form group and they'll have a form tutor. The form tutor sees the students every single day, so they get to know them really, really well. And students generally feel very comfortable talking to their form tutors. We have a student support area with non-teaching staff who are there to support students if they're feeling anything less than normal really. It could be any minor problems through to quite serious issues. And if your child has any special educational need, we've got a dedicated inclusion team, and again they will support and mentor students who are feeling that way. So there's plenty of support there. The anxiety and the nerves don't really last for long because students tend to settle really well at East Bergholt.
Well, the older students, anything from rugby, netball, football, badminton, handball. We have the British Cycling Federation who come in and do some sessions with our children as well, which I'm really pleased about, being a very keen cyclist myself. We also do some slightly more obscure futsal. We have children who are involved in equestrian teams, swimming, athletics, and I am desperately trying to persuade our head of PE to spend some of his budget on a disc golf course around the site. But I'm still working on that, but we may get there eventually, Ben. Thank you very much.
I think what's great with the sports, it's a really inclusive environment, and the participation rates here are huge, and we do very well in the Sports Mark Awards there with Mr. Lawrence and Mr. Wall and the rest of the department. And we punch above our weight. We definitely do well in the county finals. So our real talented sports people do incredibly well, and we reached the national handball finals recently as well. So yeah, we do very well as a school for the size we are. My next question: will I get a say in who my child is with in their class? Well, your child will get a say because we try and speak to all of the Year 6 teachers from the primary schools. We spend a lot of time on the transition to make sure that we get things right, so that your children can come to school and settle very quickly, because then they're making progress as soon as possible. But yes, they will get a say. They're asked, and in our feeder primary schools, the Year 6 teachers will talk to the students and find out who they would like to come up and be within a form group with. So if they've got friendship groups, they might ask to stay with those students. We'll of course talk to the teachers and find out their opinions on who works well together. We also look at working groups and spreading the students from the different schools all around the form group. So there is that opportunity to make new friends. But absolutely, you're going to say, for those students who are at out of catchment primary schools, perhaps smaller, more further away, we tend to have an out of catchment induction morning where you can come into school, you can work with some of our staff and some of our peer mentors. And a few years ago, we had two girls that came along, didn't know each other. They were the only people joining from their school. And at the end of that day, they said, "Oh, we'd really love to be in a form together." Now, we can't promise those things, but we were on that occasion able to do that. And they're still very good friends in year 10 now. So 3.5 years later, they're still going strong. So absolutely, you're going to say, but we, it's never a problem if you're on your own, because there's plenty of new friends to make.
Thanks, Gavin. It's a nice story. I'm surprised you didn't mention Ipswich Town Football Club when we were talking about sports earlier on, but two of our ex-students apparently played for Ipswich Town, which is excellent. Next question is, do you think that we will have the opportunity to visit the school in the current climate with COVID? At the moment, I'm afraid that's not possible. The way we've decided to run our risk assessment is that we're not really allowing any parents to come onto site unless they have a meeting or there is a real overriding need for them to come onto site. Really for their safety, but also for the safety of the students and the staff who are working on site. Of course, if things improve and the situation improves nationally, we will look to open our doors and welcome you into the site. Previously, we've done school tours where we've taken you around in the working school day to walk around the corridors and go into classrooms. And I have to say, it makes me really feel really proud when we do those, just to see just how calm and how purposeful the environment is at East Bergholt. Lessons generally proceed very, very well. And it's a really good selling point of the school. So we really desperately hope that we can do that in the future. We just have to wait and see what happens perhaps after Christmas.
I have to say our youngsters have taken really well to the rules and processes we had to put in place for COVID as well. So it's been a really good start back to term this year. The next question: how does the SEN, so special educational needs provision, work? Can I talk to someone about that before my child starts? Well, absolutely, we'd encourage that. It's really important that we know everything we can about your child and their special educational needs before they start school. And we're already having meetings and online meetings and telephone conversations with parents about students who are considering coming to the school. And that's a relationship that goes on and lasts throughout their time at high school as well. Dan mentioned in an earlier video our SENCO, our Special Educational Needs Coordinator, Debbie Chapman Roberts. She runs the inclusion department, and is, you know, an expert in all things SEN. So I'd urge you to get in touch if you've got a query or a question, and we can get back to you and talk to you about that. And then once you've applied for the school and the national offer day in March, if you receive a place, then that's the time that the planning really starts. And once you've got confirmation of a place, it's really important you get in touch with our inclusion team and Mrs. Chapman Roberts, and we will make sure that we're discussing all the needs and the provision that we can put in place for your child. And whatever that need may be, we'll make sure that we're prepared for when they start. So
1 hour lessons a day. The school day started later than some schools at 9:05 for registration for 20 minutes in the morning, and then they go off to lesson 1, which is an hour. Lesson 2 is extended at the moment because we stagger our break times during lesson 2, so that our year 7s and our year 11s have a lunch that is separate from the other year groups. Then the year 8s go out for break, and then our year 8s and year 10s share a break time. That's really so we can keep them separate at the moment. But I have to say, looking at the way that's actually working in the school at the moment, it's been really, really good, and it means our canteen is very quiet, and the students are able to get fed much more quickly. And actually, there are some real benefits to that. And actually, a lot of our students are telling us that they prefer to have the staggered break time. So lesson 2 finishes, and then they go back in for a lesson 3, which is an hour. Lunchtime again is staggered over the period 4. They have 35 minutes for lunch. They can buy food from either the canteen or the snack shack. At the moment, they're having a takeaway menu, which is a little bit reduced, but is very popular. We were a little bit concerned about whether students, when they came back to school in September, would want to use the canteen, but we're actually selling more food now than we were in before we went into lockdown, which I think is a real good sign in terms of the quality and the food that they sell. I know Gavin's a big fan of the food in the canteen. So lesson 5 starts at 25 to 3 and finishes at 25 to 4, and then we get our students back onto the buses. And the end of the school day is always a very busy time. We have our students lining up in various different areas around the school in different year group bubbles at the moment. Parents come onto site in their cars and pick students up. We have a very good one-way system going around the site. So if you're out of catchment, you drive your children in. Supervisors checking the students onto the buses and off the buses. So we're just trying to keep students safe really when they arrive and when they leave. Yeah, I think that's all I can say on that.
Good. Okay, we've got a couple of uniforms. First of all, where can I buy uniform? Well, the uniform list is all on the website, and the uniform can all be bought from Coes. That's the main school uniform and the PE kit as well. You'll see it's all listed on our parents information page on the website, so you can look there. And someone has also asked, is there a lucky as a school to have a school association that's volunteers, parents of students in the school who do an awful lot for us and a lot of fundraising. They hold regular events and quiz nights and car boot sales, and they spend a lot of time working hard to raise funds for the school. I know our departments have really benefited. I can think of music departments, the PE department, through kits and technology that we've used that's been fundraised by the school association. And last year we were lucky enough to be able to buy a brand new minibus because of the money that the school association has raised. We've not been able to use it much yet because we're not able to do some trips, but we've got a brand new minibus sitting out there ready to go. Why do I mention the school association? Well, they also run a second-hand uniform bank. So we have a second-hand piece of uniform brought into the school reception where there's a little bin that you can put the uniform in, and then the school association come in, sort it all out, clean it, make sure it's all ready for resale and up to standard, and they will sell that at various events. So when we have an induction evening, hopefully we get to do that this year, and you'll be able to purchase that second-hand uniform, but also at parents' evenings and other school events. So fingers crossed they take place. Otherwise, we'll publicise ways in which you can get hold of that uniform.
Excellent. Well, I haven't got any other questions that are in front of me at the moment, but I guess one thing that we could mention is that all of our Year 7 students, if they wish to have one, they can rent a locker. We have an agreement with a company called Prefect Lockers where parents can rent a locker for £30 a year to put all of their books and things and their belongings in. So they're spread around the school, and it doesn't matter how many students want a locker, we can provide that many for them. So that's another nice thing that the students have had since they've been back in September. So lots of changes going on in the school. Looking to do lots of improvements to the school site as well. Quite an exciting time. And we're really looking forward to welcoming you and your children to our community. So I'm just looking over to the other side of the room. Thumbs up. We don't seem to have any more questions. So I'm going to say good night and thank you for watching, and hand over to Gavin.
Yeah, just thanks very much. I look forward to welcoming you all in. It's a shame we can't have you in, but we look forward to seeing your young people come to school at East Bergholt. It's a lovely place to be, and it's a lovely place to work. So we hope to see you all soon. Thanks for visiting us tonight.
Thank you very much.